guys? It's your boy Carson Monty. We're back again for another episode of Elite Insights. And today, I had the pleasure of joining my man, or he has the pleasure of joining me. Sean Goode.
It's your boy.
Yeah. Sean, how's it going?
Look, I get to sit in this space with you and have this conversation. I'm grateful.
Excellent. We were talking a little bit off camera on what do we want to talk about today. Usually I have some kind of, structures and questions. I was like, we got too much history for that. And I think your exact words were, it's going to go where it's going to go.
It is going to go. I mean, we could start. Do you want to start in the beginning? Do you want to go to the down under with camera in hand? And,
all the things.
Yeah.
Now, I do like to start with what was your first memory of, you know me, pre-Elite Collective is how I usually start, but just of Carlos Imani and just kind of how what was that first thing that kind of led us to, this chair today?
I mean,
my
earliest memory of Carlos Imani, the earliest memory. I remember feeling like you were that dude, in no small part because of C-Spot.
Oh yeah,
right?
Big time. Shout out to Ken.
And how C-Spot platformed in that way. But it wasn't just that you were a dude with a camera. You were relationally connected to the people who were in space. Mm-hmm. And so people were excited to take pictures with you, mm-hmm. right? It wasn't like folks were oh, the C-Spot guy. And they were no, that's Carlos Imani. And what I think is dope is that you took something that could have been nightlife, that could have been a hobby, or it could have been a season, and you've taken it and you built an entire business around it with deep intention, and you continue to grow and mature your skills. And to be in this space today after all of these years, legit, we're talking about 20 plus years ago that this journey began. Yeah. It's not one of those things where you could look back and be like, yep, we saw this coming. But as I look back from where we are, it all makes sense. And it has everything to do because of the kind of human that you are.
No, I appreciate that, man. And it's so true. As far as not knowing where we were going to end up, right? Thinking back to that time, I was literally at a college party with the camera around my neck that my mom had got me for my birthday because digital cameras were something new. I was like, all right, what's going on? Yeah. And DJ Kun Love, who, mm-hmm. That owns C-Spot, saw me yo, you want to do pictures? And I'm literally 19, fake ID, yeah, let's do it. Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of out, but it was coming from that place of I'm really enjoying what I do. It wasn't mm-hmm. necessarily, wanting to make money, but of that place that you always talk about, if you could find your lane of service, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can just go so much further, right? Because mm-hmm. those tough days are a little easier mm-hmm. when you're mm-hmm. doing something that you love, when you're providing value, when you're being of service, mm-hmm. and mm-hmm. things that you just would have never would have thought of come to you. I think it's like a people call it, karma and just mm-hmm. different things. Sure. I'm, blessed and highly favored sure. and all the things. But I think it's just a magnetism that you create is kind of how I imagine it, where if you're just doing things and you just do it consistently at a high level, then things just kind of gravitate towards you. Mm-hmm. And what I always, preach to folks and that folks that I'm training or talking to or whatever is just always just, be in your purpose, be in your right. lane, always look to be the best version of yourself, but always be available for that opportunity because right. you don't know when it's going to come, who it's going to come for. So it's treat everyone with respect, and because you don't know who they are,
sure.
who their
sure.
person is, or
sure.
whatever, right? So if you're just doing right, not taking advantage of people, making sure everyone is treated well, and you're performing at a high level, it's gonna go your way.
Yeah.
And again, if you do it consistently, it's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
If you do it enough, it's like you don't have an opportunity to fail just because of the sheer numbers of it.
Right.
Right. And that's what on the flip side, watching you and your journey, right? You were on the other side of the camera having fun with your people, and we were having fun together.
Let's not dive in too deep into that.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
We'll just say that. But then seeing that, elevate, going to, some of your live shows and watching you, be in your purpose, for my eyes, was in front of a microphone or in front of people. Not necessarily a microphone having to be there and speaking to them, right? And I think you just always had a gift of that, of just being able to articulate messages or, feelings or whatever, and then watching that in your professional journey, right? And you were always in a place of being around people that would gravitate towards you because you were really good at communicating and finding your purpose, finding their purpose, finding an organization's purpose, aligning people with that and communicating in a way that could reach them.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of awesome to see. And we were able to meet back again in a professional level, you know, coming out of COVID. I think was our first interactions probably through Converge and just kind of helping tell that story. Because you guys, you know, at Choose 180, you guys were doing very important work and looking how we could amplify that. Can you talk a little bit about that journey for you? Am I kind of observing it correctly from my side?
Yeah. First, I appreciate how quickly you pivoted from the images that you were taking back in the day at all of the parties. I'm deep gratitude for that. Also was thinking like if those hard drives still exist, they'd probably be worth more than
they are somewhere.
More than what you could pay for video in a hotel lobby. Shout out. No, never mind. We won't go there. The point being is, it's a circuitous journey. The intention has been the same. When I was doing hip hop music, the intention was to create music that would impact the lives of the listener, which is why I was so horrible at freestyle battles. Like I could freestyle all day long, and I still could drop a hot 16 right now. Right. Don't try me. Right. Maybe by the time we get done with the end of this thing, but
drop a beat.
Yeah, come on. I'll give it to you a cappella. No, the challenge for me was like the adversarial nature of it. Like I didn't want to talk bad about somebody that wasn't in me. But what was and always has been in me is the words. But more than the words, brother, it's been the ability to hold space. I learned early on, because of some of the trauma I had the fortune to survive, what it means to be able to step into a space, control the environment in such a way that you begin to adjust the emotional tenor of the room. And as an MC, that's a valuable gift to have, that when you step on stage, you can do that thing. As a poet, it's a powerful gift to have where you can step on stage and move the room in the direction that you desire because of how you can hold space. As an executive leader, when you're standing in front of groups of people and helping them see the young people that we were serving at Choose 180 as possibilities to be developed and not problems to be solved, how you hold that space matters. And furthermore, as I journey in this season of life where I'm regularly working with humans and helping them witness themselves as complete, as enough, and able to be held. The ability to hold that space is more valuable than what it is that I'm able to communicate. Because what's real is that the words that I say, the words that I share, only matter and only mean as much as they're able to be received. And when we feel safe to witness and feel safe to be witnessed, then those words penetrate the heart and minister to a place that's beyond the entertainment that often like hits the ears and lands in the mind.
Well, that's heavy and true. I mean, I've been a recipient of some of these conversations, and what you're able to pull out of me and pull out of my team members it was special in those moments. That kind of brings us to where we're at now with movement makers. Shout outs. I just saw the new logo. Dropping soon. It's fire. There was intention there. I think how close was it to the initiation? Our first, I think we're at the scene in South Park when you were kind of first launching it. So that was like a little over a year ago.
I mean, to be clear, like this journey that we're on began in March of 2024. Yeah, just March of 2024. I had I just transitioned out of a job that I was at for about 9 months, and was absolutely like concerned about what was next. And I spent time in prayer and talking to the ancestors, and I woke up with the deep conviction to launch this practice that I'd always dreamt of, this coaching and consulting and speaking practice. And as I tell folks, the very next day, I got 2 emails from humans that wanted to bring me in as a consultant. And I was like, well, wait, what?
There's a sign.
And it became clear from that point forward. And it's much to your earlier point of what you were saying about how you go from rocking the camera that your mother bought you at a college party to sitting behind this microphone, having this conversation with me. There is a fair bit of serendipity there. It's also a journey that's been paved with a deep conviction that you'll have what you need when you need it, because you are enough. And as a result of being enough, like what you need will be present as it is necessary, right? It's a living example of what it means to see yourself as complete, that you weren't out here trying to become Carlos. You saw yourself as Carlos. And because this is who you are, this is simply what you do. And as a result, the space that we're in right now is ultimately what you get to have in this moment of time. And you are the embodiment of what it looks like to be held by community, because you stand firmly in your identity, because you witness yourself as complete, because you're not out here thirsty. And you know that what you have, you'll have when you need it. People are able to hold you. And as you are held by community, you held community too. And that's what you did for me when you pulled up at the coffee shop, the scene in South Park, and took pictures as a way to start. The beautiful part of the pictures you took them with me and Priya. And I had Priya show up to be a model of sorts, to like be a counterpart of somebody who I was like consulting or coaching. And ultimately, months later, she would come on and be one of the first people to join me on this movement maker journey. And now we get to partner together to create this world that we're imagining, where the and is in existence. And what I mean by the and is you can both do work that matters and live a life that matters. That you can both pour out into community and be poured into, so you're not exhausted and burnt out all the time.
I love that.
Like there is space to live in the and we want to
abundance.
We want to make the and accessible.
No, I love that. And that was a cool day. I remember you telling me about it. And for me, when I see the energy in people, I turn off like my marketing consultant part of my brain and just try to almost just be a cheerleader. Like, yo, I love the excitement. We can talk about how viable it is or all those kinds of things, but it was more of just showing up to support. How can I support?
Right.
I love it. The idea sounds dope. More so because you had the energy behind it. You believed in it. And I'm already sold. Like, yo, if you, like, literally, I'm one of those types, like, if you like it, I love it.
Right.
Like, how can I support? Like,
you know,
if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, cool. We'll have another idea.
Right.
You know, and seeing that you were, just the fact that you were calling me, I knew you were serious, because you were like, I need to launch this website to help rebrand myself, reintroduce myself to the world. And I need images in order to do that. I want, if possible, I'm sure there's folks out there that might be at a job that have that hobby or have that idea. Like, what was it like for you, or what were those first couple of steps for you to like make it serious, like to get you to call me, to call Priya, to like make that step?
Yeah, it begins in being in a place of alignment, where like when you are deeply connected to who you are and you're aligned in that way, then you believe that you'll have what you need when you need it. If you believe you're going to have what you need when you need it, and you have a need, then you begin to look at what's around you and tug on those spaces to see if that's where it's going to come from. Right. So knowing that I'm going to have what I need when I need it, right? If I need headshots and pictures for the website, well, who do I know? I'm going to hit up Los, right? Knowing that I need somebody to show up and to be in space that's incredibly photogenic and brilliant. Like, who do I want to bring? I'll hit Priya up, one of my dear friends, right? And Priya shows up. But this has been a year plus paved of knowing that I'll have what I need when I need it. And it's continued to prove itself to be true. I mean, when we first started, it was that. And then it was wanting to create videos for a speaker reel. Right. And I didn't have the dollars to be able to pay for it, but what I had was a skill set and an ability. And so you were more than willing to be like, bet, like, you lean in this way, I'll lean in this way, and we'll meet each other and pour into each other's visions and assure that both of us are able to become as we're intended to be in this work that we're dreaming out loud. Like, this is what it looks like to be held in community, brother. And like what I'd offer to folks is, first, if you are recognizing that the space that you're in, the opportunities you're looking for are always there, then you're probably in a place of alignment. If it's hard, difficult, but not laborious, you're probably in a place of alignment. If it allows you to be perpetually curious and you're not running around critical of yourself and others every day, you're probably in a place of alignment. And the converse is also true, that if the struggle is real and it feels laborious, you're probably out of alignment. If you're critical all the time of yourself and others, you're probably out of alignment. If it always feels like there's scarcity surrounding you, you're probably out of alignment. And that's okay, because this just means there's a place for you to stand where you can be in closer proximity to the source. And once you're connected to the source, all things are possible, however you categorize that source to be, whether that's the sun that's shining down on the flowers or something divine shining from within. Whatever that energy is that you draw from, when you're connected and aligned, Yeah, there is nothing that can get in your way of fully becoming all that you've been intended to be.
I love that. How that hits me is one of those things of, like you're saying, if and I say this a lot too. Like if it's hard, I don't want to do it. And what I mean by hard, not that it's difficult or challenging,
Right.
where it's like it's hard. Like, hey, there's too many roadblocks, and it's just like, why force yourself through a brick wall when you can walk around it, go over it, go under it, or maybe you just go in the other direction, right? And what I always try to tell people, like when I was first starting with photography, for example, right? It was like, all right, I have a skill set that is being developed.
Yeah.
I'm at a place where, we have glaziers right down the road that I could rent photography equipment from because I didn't own it. Cool, I can do that. And then it's like, well, I need people to shoot. And I'm not trying to go to Seattle, models to get whatever top notch, whatever. I'm like, do I know any pretty people around me? Hey, do you want a model type of thing? But finding people that at my level that have similar interests and that want to build together, right? And it's dope because it's funny that you just saying that like brought me back to that moment where when I was just doing that, there's like group of folks that I just grew with. One of my best friends to this day, my brother Taco, was doing hair around the same time. And we would team up together. He would do the hair, I would do the photos, and we'd find people to style and whatever. But we're like building this fashion, kind of photography and style and all that kind of stuff because of just that shared interest. And it was a very easy conversation. It was easy flowing on set. Everything just kind of gelled. It's like when you're around that, it just works, right?
And that's the principle. That when you're aligned, right?
Yep.
And abundance says you'll have what you need when you need it.
Absolutely.
And you both had each other.
Absolutely.
And clearly you're both aligned because Taco's still doing what Taco does and doing it at a high level, much like yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So more on folks that is kind of figuring out what they want to do is like you said, look around you, like who would you like to work with, or who can you bring value to? That's actually a wonderful way to start. So if you, for example, for me, like if you want to get into photography, is there anyone around you that could use some photos? And it's like, man, I'm going to do it at no charge. Is there a restaurant around you? I want to shoot some food for your menu, or you got a real estate agent around you. Like, yo, can I do some new headshots for you? And just being of value to that, because you can learn, right? And then from that, though, it's like, oh, man, you did a great job. I got someone for you. Right. And then for me, that's how a lot of that went. And then at a higher level, yourself and myself, we're, veterans in the game, but still it was like a new business venture. So it was kind of a baby thing. I'm in a new place of like, I've been all right as myself, but now I'm in team building mode. Like I want to like build up this next generation and provide value. And I didn't go through the normal channels of like college for photography, didn't have that structure to share. And I haven't really done a ton of like leadership development in that sense. I just kind of lived as myself, and I've been what I needed when I needed it. Yeah. But I understood that, hey, if I want to develop these people, let me bring in someone that does that. Right. So it just made sense where, okay, now we're bartering at a high level. And it still works though, right? 'Cause we're bringing value to each other. So I would definitely throw that at anyone that's looking to do whatever it is, right?
Sure.
If you want to, take from making plates to opening up a food truck, like, go around your friends. Like, can I, cater your birthday party? Or let me get, let me see if this thing works. Or they can tell you like, yo, that potato salad is not hitting. Maybe this isn't, you're not aligned. And you need to do something else.
Yeah, right. And to complement that, what I'd say is it has a lot to do with intention. Right. Like to your example, if you're interested in being a photographer, the first question I'd ask you is, what's your intention? Like, why? What is your intention? Because like the act of taking pictures could take you a lot of different places, but your intention is what you want to get closer to, right? Like you've never been a photographer. You've been a storyteller. You've been a storyteller your entire life. Photography is a medium in which you chose to tell stories for a period of time that allowed you to have access to the more expansive parts of you, which has always been a storyteller. And as a storyteller, you're innately a community builder. Because you witness people in community, you tell their stories, and as they see themselves reflected in those narratives, they feel more of their humanity being honored, and they feel more comfortable bringing their humanity to others. Like, this is who you are. That's the intention. The photography is a vehicle to it. And so much of the work for me is helping humans understand their intention and less to do with their practice. The practice will get you closer to that intention, but the intention won't get you closer, or the practice will get you closer to that intention once it's established. But like, if you just have practice, you won't find intention.
Right. Right. Then that's deep. Visually, literally just had a visual of you saying that, and how that makes sense in my world, or how that shows up is when I talk to people about speed and velocity, right? A lot of people want to go fast, but velocity is speed plus direction.
Right.
Right. And it's just like, all right, well, you can go fast to nowhere. You can go nowhere real fast.
Right.
Or if you're aligned, if you have your purpose, if you have your attention, then you have velocity with that speed combined. So no, that's dope. That's a little jewel dropped.
Yeah. I
Thank
mean,
you. We're picking them up. We're picking them up as we go.
Yeah. I mean, like, because otherwise I could be at the age that I'm at and still wanting to do rap music as a medium.
There's still time.
Well, I understand. And like I said, before this is done, right, who knows what's going to come out. The point being is that, like, that's actually wasn't the intention.
Right.
The intention was always to be able to leverage this ability to hold space and to put together words in a way that people could hold them for themselves, to give them more access to who it is they've always been.
No, I'm loving
like
that.
That was, and so that showed up in hip hop, and it showed up in poetry, and it showed up in organizational leadership. And now it shows up in movement makers, and in this coaching, consulting, and creative service company. It continues to show up time and time again. The vehicle is less relevant. The pursuit is always and has always been the intention. Am I getting closer to that thing that I've always held to be true as it pertains to the core of my identity?
No, and I'm loving that. So if you don't mind, tell me a little bit more about the movement makers. Like, where are you at in that journey? We met, a year plus ago in March. We did some photos. I saw some iterations of some websites. We came and supported you capturing some live, some live presentations and getting some video stuff. And again, like, for us, that's kind of how we show up. Like, I always tell everyone, we do three things: we elevate, amplify, and engage. You help us with those power words. And for you, a lot of that was in the amplifying kind of segment of kind of amplifying your messaging and helping to capture that. And so from there, where has that gone now? Because for me, it was like, all right, we gave you some stuff, and then you just went to work. Yeah. Like, you've been traveling, you've been doing things, you added team members, and it's been dope just kind of watching it from afar. I follow the newsletter, that you're dropping. But for some folks that may know you from other aspects or other things that just kind of want to catch up, tell us a little bit about where you're at now.
I mean, I've been an entrepreneur my entire life.
Come on.
I was selling I was selling nickel candies for a dime when I was in 5th grade, 15-cent candies for a quarter when I was in 6th grade. I was getting picked up in a black van and getting dropped off a neighborhood corner, selling $5 boxes of candies and getting $1.25 of profits.
Let's go.
I still remember what it was they had to say. This was the exact spiel. Hello, my name is Sean. I'm from the Young Merchants Training Program. It's a Say No to Drugs program to keep kids busy and out of trouble like gangs and drugs while coming into neighborhoods and meeting nice and interesting people like you. Here, let me show you a few items. Like, come on, man. That was forever ago. But at the core of it all is I cannot help but see possible in every space that I'm in, whether that's possibility around businesses and entrepreneurs, or spaces where social good is centered, or individuals and humans. And so when we met together, I had thought that I'm going to call this company Finding Good. Because it's the title of this book that I wanted to write, and it has my last name. It's a play on words, and I like poetry. So I was like, this is beautiful. And then wherever I'd go, they'd say, what's your company name? I said, it's called Finding Good. And then they'd say, what does that mean? And I got tired of answering that question. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to be a little more explicit. I'm going to call it Sean Good Coaching and Consulting. So nobody's going to ask me what it means, and we can get right to the meat of it all. But then the vision got bigger than me. And I wanted to create an umbrella that would be big enough to bring in other humans who were aligned to journey with me in an intentional way and really take this thing and build a movement out of it. And that's what gave birth to Movement Makers, this opportunity to build a collective of humans who are fully committed to helping others make mission a movement from the inside out, where we are steadfast focused on helping leaders and humans do this internal work, where they can come aligned with the values that they hold to be true. And from that place of alignment, build a movement that extends beyond themselves, but is allowed to hold them at the same time. And it's been fun, man. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a little bit over a year at this point, and what we've been able to accomplish is a testament to those who trust me to come alongside them, to those who said yes early on to build the foundation and bring in the resources that have allowed us to grow. And humans like you, Los, who see what is possible much in the same way that I do and can get excited about someone else's thriving in a way that's not about a mutual benefit, but simply about watching someone else stand in the light and shine in the way they were intended to shine. And folks like you who are able to stand in their own brilliance unapologetically are always willing to do that for others. And I'm grateful.
No, that's what's up. That reminded me of one of my early email little things. I literally had in there, I win when you win. Yeah. And I literally, like, I love that. I love to see my people winning, period. Like, I have nothing to do with me. I might have, whatever it is. If I was a part of it, cool, but that's not the joy. The joy is just watching them win, watch them be in their purpose, watching them have joy from just being, not being stressed out, not hating their job, not hating their situation, where it's like, man, they're, not that it's always going to be easy, but at least they're, like you said, they're aligned. They're in purpose. And you called it. I love that. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
Well, what you're testifying to is that in any ecosystem that's thriving, there's what we call an interconnectedness, right? Which is different than codependence. Codependence says, I need you to thrive in order for me to thrive.
Right.
Codependence says, I need you to be okay in order for me to be okay. Interdependence says, I'm going to be good. And because I'm going to be good, you're going to be good because we're both going to be better together, right? It's this understanding that if I'm good and fully aligned in my purpose and I'm planted with others who are the same, then this ecosystem is going to thrive because the collective is strong and thriving with one another. And that's what we live into. That's the principle of what it is that we got going on with each other. And what it is when we bring other people along the journey with us, it's not because like we want to create a collective of and have like some sort of superhero force, right? This isn't like the Fantastic Four. Gosh, I hope this next one's going to be good. This isn't the Avengers. It's not that. What it is it's really a thriving ecosystem. It's like walking out into an old growth forest and watching everything from the moss to the ferns, to the strong cedar, to the mushrooms, don't forget the to the mushrooms, to everything that's in the space thriving because all of it is as it was intended to be.
Oh, I love that. So what I'm hearing from that is, don't be the tapeworm, be the murder of crows.
Don't be the tapeworm, be the murder of crows.
Don't be codependent. Don't be a parasite.
I know. I got you. I had a cat one time that had a tapeworm, and that took me all the way. Yeah, that's just that illustration.
Sorry.
Yeah. Be the crow, right? Who's willing to share, to serve out of a place of abundance, right? And not the human who's caught up in scarcity.
Yeah.
And feels like I got to hold everything to my own, because if I don't hold it all, then I'm gonna lose it all. Because the principle is that if I let it all go, it's going to all come back, because what's for you will be for you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm grateful. It's so beautiful to be able to sit and have this conversation with you. I mean, like, think about where it is we get to be in this moment, right? Like the opportunity to provide elite insights.
Come on.
But more than anything, the beauty of the word insight means that people are able to see within themselves and to give a window of inspiration to others that allowed them to pause long enough to see within themselves that which has always been there. Like that you're providing is special, bro.
Oh, I love that. Trying to think through also, so we kind of tapped into, that budding entrepreneur, that person that might have that side hustle, that hobby. They might be in a position that might have worked during a season and it might not be right for them anymore. Trying to make that trip. I think you already gave some good feedback around that in terms of like, find that alignment, see what's around you, what makes sense, where you can kind of lean into and see what leans back. We talked about, that professional development and folks that are in a position and they're really wanting to take it to that next level, getting with folks like movement makers or just trying to find some kind of development where it's like, all right, you're in this work, but are you really in this work?
I mean, and trust and believe. Like we as a practice don't believe in leveling up. We believe in experiencing more of who you are. And the more you experience of who you are, the more you have access to who you are, the more expansive you experience yourself as, the more you can get busy out here and the more effective you can be in what it is you got going on. So trust and believe, like getting with movement makers is a catalyst to experiencing more of who you are and accelerating the impact that you're having in community. Like that's why we do what it is that we do. And I would tell any entrepreneur out there, right? Like side hustle is a side hustle for a reason. If you want it to be your main piece, you got to treat it like your main piece, which means that you have to be willing to embrace and push past the can't do, like things like fear, right? When in the spaces that we play in, Los, like fear is usually where people stop. Right. It's like, I would do that. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people who are like, I love what you're doing. I would do something like that if, because what they believe is on the other side of that if is scarcity. They believe that, well, if I did that, I wouldn't be able to provide. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to make it work. If I did that, that may be true if you want it to be true.
Right. Literally, whatever you believe will be.
Will indeed be. And so like to that entrepreneur, to the hustler, yes, like work like ours can be a catalyst. And if you're not ready to embrace all of who it is you are and work from that place of abundance within you, then some of the work will be counterproductive. Because messing around with us, you will see parts of you that you didn't know existed, and you will fall in love with that part of you, and you'll never want to let it go. And once you get a chance to taste, touch, and experience that part of your being, you're going to want to make sure the rest of the world has access to it as well. And when they do, fundamentally nothing can stop you from continuing to become all that you've always been.
No, I love that. I want to kind of end off with like, who would be the ideal person to give movement makers a call, and what's the best way for them to contact you?
Yeah, I appreciate the invitation. We focus on working with individuals and organizations that are committed to social good. So if you already have values,
I like that.
If you already have values that you're aligned with, right, then we are the right people to check in with. Because more often than not, we're supporting individuals and organizations who have very clear values, and they're operating out of alignment with those values. Their end users are benefiting from the values, but the people who are doing the work day in and day out are distant from those values. And we help them get aligned to expedite the change and be a catalyst for organizational shifting that really allows for the type of productivity that we imagine, where process is what's important and the outcome is inevitable because great people are value aligned, creating great outcomes because they simply are great. So if you're a nonprofit organization, a small business owner, if you are an entrepreneur who is like got a side hustle, that you got a side piece that you want to turn into your main piece, right? If that's your jam, then like you are rightly aligned as social good is what you're looking for, because it can't be about making money. I never worry about money because money never worried about me. But if you folk make the main thing, like everything else that you need is going to come.
Oh, I love that. And what's the best way?
Best way to get hold of us? info@movementmakers.us.
Boom.
Movementmakers.us. info@movementmakers.us. The .us matters because without us, there is no us.
Come on. I love it. Well, I want to thank you again for spending some time. Like I said, we have so many years and so many stories. Yeah. It goes in so many different directions. Just for consumability, I want to leave this as a part one.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to go as we journey together.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, some folks got some value out of what we were talking about. And it's dope just because we brought value to each other, right? But there's someone else out there that got a buddy that also does a thing. Call them up, have coffee, see what you guys can build together. Because without us, there's no us.
Movement makers. .us.
Yeah. Man, thanks again, guys, for joining us. Another episode of Elite Insights with Carlos Imani, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.